She-Hulk Attorney at Law, the latest Marvel-sponsored Disney Plus series, has been expanding the Marvel Cinematic Universe in some pretty interesting ways, to say the least. After making a ton of pop culture references and even making behind-the-scenes canon in the MCU-verse now, it's the latest cameo, an appearance from hip-hop sensation Megan Thee Stallion teaching our titular heroine how to bust it down. Has fans all across the internet up in arms. Here's everything we know, starting off with putting in the twerk. The discourse about how this week's She-Hulk has continued for days after episodes airing, centered on one scene and one scene only, She-Hulk twerking with Megan Thee Stallion in the closing credits scene of the show. It's a debate between angry fanboys who think it is the death of the entire MCU and those that point out a whole bunch of goofy She-Hulk antics from the comics, and say that this is exactly the kind of thing that is true for her character given her history. But in the end, the reason this scene exists at all is a lot simpler than anyone figures. In an interview with Polygon, director Kat Coiro explains that it turns out that Tatiana Maslany is just a huge Megan Thee Stallion fan and wanted a scene with her celebrity star. So that's really it. The star of She-Hulk loves Megan Thee Stallion, and what Tatiana wants, Tatiana gets, including a post-credits dance party. And again, they can also do this because it's not any less ridiculous than half the stuff in the actual She-Hulk comics over the years. Naked jump roping anyone? Yeah, that did happen. This also reminded people of a whole lot of other goofy moments in MCU history, from DJ Iron Man to characters like Star-Lord or Baron Zemo dancing, and yet none of those were ever met with "this is too absurd for the MCU" critiques. Looks like the MCU fans need to take some notes from Jen and drop the whining routine. Plus, we can't wait to see how Jen weaponizes her new skill against Kang the Conqueror in their imminent encounter. Enjoy the show and the rest of the series while you're at it. Moreover, we also got a look at the behind-the-scenes footage for the scene. A new look at the She-Hulk Attorney at Law Episode 3 post-credit scene has been revealed, showing off what the sequences between Tatiana Maslany, Jennifer Walters, and Megan Thee Stallion looked like before CGI. The origin of the picture is unknown, but they showcase Maslany in full mocap gear. While Megan Thee Stallion looks exactly as she does in the final cut of the sequence, Maslany stands atop a large blue platform to account for the added height that comes with the She-Hulk CGI transformation. The pair look like they're having a blast together on set as they each bust a move in their own signature way. Yes, the creative team on the project has talked about the actual logistics of the in-office She-Hulk dance party, but actually seeing it in action is something else entirely. It's been made very clear that Tatiana Maslany did all the motion capture work for her part on the Marvel Studios streaming series, but this is taking it up a notch. Looking at these images, one can tell that the actress has got some moves and put them all on display for this memorable Marvel moment. It is always cool to see how the MCU sausage gets made, and this is no exception. Seeing just how these actors look in their CGI mocap attire is stunning when comparing it to what ends up on screen in the final product. And with CG character as large as hulking as She-Hulk, it's neat for the audience to get a glimpse at how they transform 5'4" Tatiana Maslany into the Colossal Avenger. Furthermore, expect a lot more goofy scenes in the future. Marvel has clearly given She-Hulk a colossal amount of runway to do whatever she wants. Whether that's directly taking on misogyny and toxic fanboys, as it's been doing for weeks now, to pull cameos ranging from MCU stars to real-life celebrities. If this is fourth wall-breaking series, it's going to Hulk smash through the wall as often as possible. As worth noting that this moment was included as a gag reel for the episode's post-credit scene. Such moments are usually reserved for gags, if not exciting teases for what's next to come. So with that in mind, it isn't exactly out of place, especially when you consider that the She-Hulk character is often remembered for her sense of humor and wacky tendencies to break the fourth wall. Whether or not that's translated well into the Disney Plus series, however, is up for individual viewers to decide for themselves. Again, cameos and dance parties do not make a show inherently good, as we think She-Hulk has some work to do with its overall structure, but the pushback about this is absurd. And it really just comes down to an actress wanting to dance with her favorite rapper. We're only 3 episodes in with 6 to go, and we have to imagine we are only at the tip of the iceberg for how much drama this show is going to bring the internet. On the other hand, it looks like Martin Scorsese was right all along. Scorsese's word about Marvel works in 2019 seemed to be aging like honey. With the release of this new episode from Jessica Gau's Disney Plus series, those words have ended up resonating with a lot of the audience who want a serious tone in Marvel movies. But there are always two sides to the coin that people tend to overlook in these situations. Back in 2019, the director stated an opinion that Marvel movies, despite their brilliant animations and superb scale in terms of lore, have movies with plots that are almost all the same, and the characters are also not as complex as individuals on their own. The latter opinion would currently be resonating with the crowd that isn't at all amused by the latest episode of the Disney Plus series. While it does make sense that most Marvel movies play out in the same way, it would be entirely wrong to assume that She-Hulk's character would have a strict and serious tone, because she just wasn't written that way in the comics. The Jessica Gao-led series has been one of the most criticized shows for the entire year, not just in the realm of superhero flicks. The reasons for all the hate this show's gotten aren't unwarranted too. Fans have complained about bad CGI, unnecessary woke symbols, a plot that couldn't hold a candle in the dark, and is living off the excitement that cameos bring. What's more, scenes like this aren't even out of character for a character like Jennifer Walters. However, at the end of the day, this version of the Hulk is shown to be a woman who is as energetic as Bruce Banner's Hulk, but also employs fourth wall breaking moments and humor to great effect in the comics, so it wouldn't be wrong to assume that such a fun and eccentric character wouldn't fit into a twerking scene because she isn't as different from the comic versions of Walters. Meanwhile, in other Marvel-related news, first off, Ryan Reynolds comments on a possible return in a Deadpool sequel. Slowly but surely, Marvel Studios is putting together Deadpool 3, the Merc with a Mouth's official debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Little is known about the movie other than the fact that it will reunite Ryan Reynolds with director Sean Levy and frequent collaborators Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, the writing duo currently working on a script rewrite. When it comes to certain character returns, anything is up in the air, including the potential return of Marina Baccarin's Vanessa. During a panel at DragonCon Saturday afternoon, Baccarin revealed she isn't sure if they'll appear in the sequel, largely because no one has mentioned anything to her. The actor then added that she's hopeful to return because of the time-traveling antics of Deadpool 2, since originally Vanessa was supposed to stay dead. Deadpool 3 is yet to set a release, but our fingers are crossed. Next up, Chadwick Boseman wins an Emmy Award 2 years after his passing. Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman posthumously won this year's Emmy for Outstanding Character Voiceover Performance for his work on Disney Plus and Marvel Studios' animated series What If, marking his first Emmy nomination and win. The Television Academy gave one last honor to the late actor's greatness by bestowing him with an Emmy Award. The actor, who died of colon cancer in August 2020 at 43 years old, made an indelible mark on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, delivering stunning performances as T'Challa in Captain America Civil War and Black Panther, as well as Avengers Endgame. And lastly, the new Black Panther 2 images reveal the film's main villains and lead heroes. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever looks to close out the MCU's Phase 4 slate with an emotional adventure as Marvel Studios' final theatrical release of 2022. Although the sequel will be without the late Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, Black Panther 2 will feature an impressive group of heroes and villains that will drive Wakanda's legacy to new heights within the MCU. While there are a number of potential candidates to take over the Black Panther mantle and suit in the movie, heroes like Okoye, Shuri, M'Baku, and others will be essential to get their country back on its feet following such a devastating loss. But on the other side of the fight is a powerful nation of Talokan, led by Namor the Submariner in his MCU debut as he brings a cast of formidable allies into battle against the Wakandans. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on the She-Hulk twerking scene? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.